Hey guys, Kev here, and I have a full review to do for you on the Buck Marksman. I still cannot remember the name of this. I've been told a few times now. There's the Gray Ghost, and then there's this one. Okay, this one has like a brownish red G10 scale, and then they both, I believe, have the S35EN. It's a Boss heat treat. And it's a G&G Hawk design. It's made by Buck, which is pretty goddamn surprising, actually. It's probably the best thing I've seen from Buck, but I'm not a big Buck guy. It's made in the U.S., and I think this is number 830. I'm not sure, but anyway, I apologize for not knowing the full name of this thing, the nickname or whatever. But anyway, there's a couple different kinds. It's originally the model itself is called the Marksman, and then there's some special editions like this and the Gray Ghost. This was loaned in to me by OCD for EDC, so thank you to Justin. Great dude. I really appreciate him loaning me some knives to check out. We've been sending some stuff back and forth. He did some mod work for me on my Liang KUF version 2. He also modded up a a XL Kaiser Sheepdog that I gave to Kyle over at D2M Knives and Gear for his Freedom Talk channel. So in honor of Freedom Talk, I had this knife made for him. Basically, it's an XL Sheepdog with the hole and the flipper delete and red scales and blue accents, so America and all that stuff. And I love the dude, and I just wanted to give him something for starting that channel and just voicing his opinion on things. And I just think it's cool, and like I said, I love the dude. It's totally gay, so there you go. Anyway, back to this knife. It does have a reversible clip, which is cool, so I was able to carry this in my front left pocket. It carried very well, so I guess we could get into the review now. Aesthetics. This thing ugly. I don't think it's aesthetically good looking in any way, really. I hate the strap on the back. It looks like razor blades on the side of it. It kind of looks like something out of like Mad Max or what's that? I don't know why specifically I'm thinking of that movie with fuck is his name? The guy who fights everybody. He's in Transporter, that guy. He's in a movie where it's like Death Race or something, and they're like in jail, but they have to drive these cars, and if they survive, they keep living, and if you win 20 races, you get out, whatever, right? Kind of reminds me of something that would be in that movie. But yeah, it's kind of ugly. I just don't like the design very much. Ergonomics. So it's very comfortable in hand. Even with the razor blades right here, when you hold it to cut, it feels fantastic. You're bearing down on the strap, so you're not, going to have any lockup issues. And the knife fits my hand, large glove size hand, very well. And then, what was I going to say? Shit. Oh, it's very lightweight. It's super lightweight. For the size of this knife, it is super lightweight, and I really, really appreciate that on a knife. It is like extra light, like bug out feeling light. It's not that light, but you know what I mean? Like it feels like that. Carry. So it has a deep carry clip, pops right in your pocket and pops right out. It's really, really good on the carry. Has a flipper tab, obviously. Never had an issue with that. These razor blades I thought would kind of like catch on stuff. I never noticed that. It rode very well in my front left pocket. So very much enjoyed the carry. Cutting. So this has a really good edge on it. Justin obviously must have tuned this up. He's a sharpener guy. And yeah, it's ridiculous. I'm sure it's like, 15th thou behind the edge and a 45 on my cutting machine. Just joking. Sharpness machine that the OCD Billies have. Damn, I'm going to cut myself closing this. But yeah, blade is fantastic. Cutting is great. It's a drop point. Very simple design, which means it's super useful. I very much enjoyed carrying this. I didn't cut a ton with it because I don't cut a ton of stuff in general. But the stuff I did cut, a couple packages, some paper, I think a little bit of cardboard just to test it, was fantastic. So, carry cutting, ergo, aesthetics, sounds. it's interesting, right? It kind of like, I don't know, if you give it a real good flick, like, hold on, if you give it a real good flick for you, it really does have a nice sound to it. The close is kind of meh. I'd probably give it like a 6, just because it is unique when it does crack out a little bit. Other than that, it's kind of average, which is fine, right, for sounds. Action. So this is the thing for this knife. And I think some people love it, and some people probably hate it. Some people are probably just like, meh. I'm kind of meh on the action here. I love the uniqueness of this back strap, right? So essentially, you can actually tighten these little screws right here, and that'll tighten the strap or loosen the strap, and it kind of gives you the ability to tune it to however you want, right? I didn't mess with it because it's not my knife, so I just left it where it was. And essentially, if you don't flick it hard enough, it bounces. So, hang on. If you don't flick it hard enough, it does that. Which could be dangerous in some cases. Right? It just bounces back. Same with the flipper tab. So, when I first got it, I was like, holy cow, because I almost, like, had my finger in the way, flicking it, and it bounced back. Once you get used to that, you just learn not to be a pussy, and you flick it, right? And then you're fine. I do like that it has a flipper tab and the hole for deployment. So you have thumb hole, you have reverse flick, which is very satisfying, and you have a flipper tab, which is also satisfying. It's not a traditional detent. Like, it doesn't kind of like, you know what I mean? It doesn't pop and then lock up. It's not going to do that. And that's what I'm used to doing, because that's my thing, right? To just break the detent and see what happens. But if you flick it, it does feel like a better detent. I don't know how to explain it. Like, the flick, man, it feels satisfying. It has enough detent, so it's not that. It's just the way it works is different. You guys know I hated the 8015. This is way better than the 8015. So now on the close, you have to see what I mean. You have to pull the strap back, obviously, and let the blade fall. So your options are to kind of just pull on it like this, grip the blade, and pull on it and let it fall. Now, to do that, you notice I'm all the way up here now, and I have to climb all the way back down to flick it again. And then climb all the way back up to drop it again, right? Not fun for me, right? So your other option is to kind of pinch it and like this, and then pull a little bit and push with this finger. Oh, God. See, this is what I'm saying. I suck at this. So you can kind of do it like that, and now you're still kind of down here on the grip, and you can kind of fidget back with it again, right? Now, my favorite way to do it is to kind of put a little pressure back on the lock, and then you push the blade, and it kind of just breaks. It's kind of weird to do right now, but there you go. You just kind of pull a little bit with this finger right here, and then push the blade, and it'll pop. So I suck at it. This is clearly why I'm not the biggest fan of this knife, is because I suck at it. If I had spent more time with this knife, I think I would have gotten proficient. I would have probably loved it. And when I do sit here and fidget with it for 10 minutes, or carry it that day, I do get used to it. And then I kind of like it. It is kind of fun to sit here and do this, right? I do have this tendency not to close it all the way. It kind of like does this and does that. But I don't know. So it's a learning curve. If you're the kind of guy who carries a knife for like a week straight, or, you know, you carry a knife for a few days and then switch, this is cool because you'll get used to it and then it'll be awesome. But for me, I switch knives like a couple times a day sometimes. So it's just kind of more awkward and work than it is fun for me on this knife. Yeah, so action, it's good. It's just, it depends on you, right? And you could probably adjust this to make that easier for you. Whereas maybe Justin has stronger fingers than I do, and he just bang, 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 like he's having fun with it. Where I'm like, you know? Yeah, so value. I don't know what these go for, I'll be honest. I'm going to go ahead and guess they were somewhere around the $150 to $200 range when they came out. Because you're talking those materials, I don't know. I guess they might have pushed $250, but buck, I don't know, man. I would guess $179 or something like that for this, maybe less. I love it. I mean, for that price, for an American-made knife with a unique design, unique lock, the Boss heat treat on the S35, you know, whatever. For a buck, hell yeah. The action, the knife overall, the lightweight, the carry, all of it. Awesome value. I love it. If it's like more than $200 or more than 220, let's say, yeah, I don't know. I don't know about that. But anything 220 or less for this knife is pretty much awesome. I mean, you know, American made. You got to remember that. It costs money. Do I recommend it? Yeah, I mean, it works left-handed and right-handed, so it just comes down to this lock. If you like this lock more than I do, if you think it's cool, if you could get used to it, you have a fidget monster here. I mean, you have something you can reverse flick like a dream. It is such a satisfying reverse flick. If I could just get down the close. I don't know what I'm doing. I think I'm just holding the lock open too much or something. I don't know. Yeah, you have a very fidgety knife, a very fun knife, and it's American made. That's cool. So this is a great knife, actually. I really like it overall. Personally, I wouldn't get one, but that doesn't mean it's not a good knife. So that is the Buck Marksman, whatever edition. Sorry. Yeah, thank you, Justin, for letting me check this out. And I love you guys. I hope you have an absolutely fantastic day, and I will catch you later.